Welcome to the virtual celebration of Y Women in Careers. Thank you for joining us and watching today. When we held the Y Women in Careers banquet last year on March 5th, we had no idea what our world would be like for the rest of 2020, or how fortunate we were to have our event just a few days before the pandemic forced us to change just about everything. And here we are, 1 year later, having a virtual event. I am Dolores Guerrero, and I will be your guide through our 2021 virtual celebration to recognize 4 amazing women who have excelled in their careers. The YWCA has held this event every year for 41 years, although we usually have hundreds of people celebrating with us in the same room. We have honored 298 women for their career achievements, and we look forward every year to recognizing a new class of honorees. I was privileged to be one of the women recognized back in 2017, so I have firsthand understanding how special this honor is for these women. I also have a very deep appreciation for the YWCA. I'm a former board president, and I served on the board for 7 years. And I am now one of many women in the Coastal Bend who answer the call to volunteer whenever Nancy Weston Dodd texts or calls and asks us to do something, because we believe in what this organization does and stands for. And also because it's just hard to say no to Nancy. Eliminating racism and empowering women. I cannot think of a mission that means more to me personally. I grew up in Alice, Texas, raised by a single mother who worked hard to take care of me and my sister who had special needs. It wasn't easy for her or for us, so I deeply value organizations that support girls and families as they deal with the challenges that we all face. I love that the YW Teen Program teaches young girls how to be successful in today's world, and that it reaches them at the most crucial and exact perfect time in their lives. I want to introduce you now to 3 YW teens. Emily McGettrick from Cunningham Elementary, and Kyla Patino and Oceana Ochoa from Brown Middle School.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now I want you to meet Sharon Murphy. Sharon is the current board president of the YWCA Corpus Christi, and she will tell you a little bit about all the wonderful and critical work of the YWCA.
Welcome to you all on behalf of the board of the YWCA Corpus Christi. I want to take just a minute to tell you about some of the important work that we do. You just saw a couple of Y Teens. We are really proud of this program. Y Teens is a support system for girls who really need it, the 5th and 6th graders who are finding their way in the world, faced with tough choices every day. Y Teen helps girls make good choices. They learn social skills, they learn how to be leaders, how to handle peer pressure and bullies, and how to be a friend. We measure results and know why Teen works. It gives girls the tools to grow up and be their best selves. Please consider making a donation. It would be an investment in the future of these young girls. Our second major program is called Fitness Connection. It's a place for active aging adults to improve their health and to find important social connections. We have land and water classes, high, medium, and low intensity, pickleball teams, and much, much more. We even have adaptive exercise rooms for those with mobility challenges. It's like nothing else in town, a place to find fitness with friends. Stop in at any time and take a look. I think you'll be impressed. Now, meet the president and CEO of the YWCA Corpus Christi, Nancy Weston Dodd.
Thank you, Sharon, and welcome to all of you who are with us tonight. At the YWCA, we've worked really hard to stay focused on our mission, eliminating racism, empowering women, and promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. This has been a challenging year. We've had to cut salaries, limit hours, and learn to do much of our work in ways that we haven't before, just as many of you and others have done. Thanks to you for your support, financially, as volunteers, as participants, and collaborators. we are meeting our mission. For YW Teens, we've gone partly virtual with videos, Facebook, email, and Zoom. We create and distribute bags of curriculum and self-esteem, handling loneliness, and handling the unknown, family activities and games. For Dias de los Muertos, we distributed bags with masks and markers, and also cake mixes and frosting and sprinkles. The next day, we had a Zoom meeting with the YW Teens, and thinking that they would be bringing their masks to proudly show each other, and they did that, but they really wanted each other to see how well they did with their cakes. So they've enjoyed this creativity, and it's also been helpful for us to continue being excited and being creative with them. The girls and their families are very grateful for the YWCA program in YW Teens, for the connections, for the relevance. Whether it's a pandemic or not, it's a very important program in the community. The fitness program has new opportunities as well. Classes are smaller but safe. We've posted classes on Facebook. We've kept in touch with people via telephone and emails. And when we started back our classes, some of them are coming back, but many are not comfortable, which is okay with us because we're still staying in touch. I'm proud of our YWCA board, staff, our YW Teens, and our fitness members. They have risen to the challenge of 2020. Y Women in Careers is a celebration of successful women. Your donations keep us going. You can go to ywcacc.org, or you can donate through a phone call or a text to us. Now it's my pleasure, my great pleasure, to introduce you to a YW teen former YW teen who is a success. Yesenia Villarreal was a Y teen at Driscoll Middle School 10 years ago. She came to us in the summer to do an internship for her college degree, and then she has worked part-time for us. Now, at age 20, she has her degree, she has a life plan, and some wise words about the YW Teen program then and now.
Hello, my name is Yesenia Denise Villarreal, and I am a recent Texas State University graduate. I was a YW teen 10 years ago at Driscoll Middle School. The YWCA has given me the opportunity to personally and professionally grow. I remember coming to the YWCA with my childhood best friend and being very shy. Today I can make videos for young girls to be inspired the way I was when I was a YW teen. YW Teens molds many skills young women need for the real world. From being a YW teen to now serving the Corpus Christi community, I am able to use those skills to communicate better, help the community, and impact the youth as I once dreamed I would. I appreciate everything that the YW Teens has done for me. There is nothing better than inspiring young girls to be everything they think they could never be.
YWCA is important to me because it offers so many facilities, so many things to do. Staff is very welcoming, and I enjoy spending my time here every single morning.
It means the world to me to have this opportunity to be here.
I meet a lot of people and enjoy life here.
I enjoy coming here, going into the pool for the exercises, the water aerobics and things like that.
The place is very, very, very sociable and friendly. I love the YWCA.
Why should you come to the YWCA? Great people, lovely staff, good machines. Come and have a good time. Join us.
Do you see why I and so many others volunteer for and financially support the YWCA? It is a great organization that contributes so much to our community. Thank you to all of you who invest in the YWCA. I want to say a special thank you to our sponsors this year. If we were not doing this virtually, there would be a loud applause for you right now. Just know that we are applauding you in our hearts. Thank you all. Now you have the privilege of meeting the women we're honoring this year. They will be introduced by longtime YWCA volunteer and former board president, Lynn Ferris.
Thank you, Dolores. As Dolores mentioned earlier, this is the 41st year for Y Women in Careers, and 298 women have been honored with this prestigious award. This year, 4 very deserving women joined their ranks. These women and many others were nominated by friends and admirers across the community. Then all the nominations were reviewed and the winners selected by 2 groups of anonymous community leaders. These 4 women, as you'll see, are most deserving of recognition for their career successes. Our first honoree is Kiwana Denson. Kiwana is Director of Strategic Initiatives for Del Mar College, where she has worked since 2012. She has more than 20 years of experience in training and project management. At Del Mar, Kiwana has excelled in designing training programs to benefit businesses in the Coastal Bend, provide opportunities for Del Mar students, and advance our local workforce. She led Del Mar's training for safety and leadership for contractors during the construction of the $9 billion Gulf Coast Growth Ventures petrochemical facility. For that work, she won the GRID Award from ExxonMobil, the highest recognition given to any contractor or affiliate. On a personal note, after Kiwana's 18-year-old son, Jaysani, drowned in 2019, Kiwana founded the Jaysani Smith Foundation to educate beachgoers on beach safety and rip currents. Kiwana has master's and bachelor's degrees from Marshall University, and the YWCA is honored to recognize her for her achievements.
I think the best thing about my job is being able to create those vital learning opportunities that impact business needs for industry clients. The creativity that goes behind those training projects that help young women just expand upon their education and their knowledge to exceed within industry. The process starts in our corporate services department. Our primary focus is to meet the needs of business and industry by providing training opportunities and various projects. Again, it's just based on their needs. And so, we set up face-to-face, virtually these days. We interface, we set up these contacts, and we sit down and we listen. We identify, we discover, and we come back to the college and we find out what resources we actually have and can we meet the needs of the business industry, because they're coming to us looking for students, they're coming to us looking for the expertise. That alone in itself, again, just sets the path forward to not only meet their needs, but meet our students' needs and create jobs. Talking to young girls and trying to explain to them what I do in my career, it's always interesting because they think you're automatically an educator, when you say Del Mar College, and we are truly essentially educators, but it's educating in a different way. You're educating in the short term, but for the long term. And so I just tell them, hey, if you are a people person, you want to work with adults and students, you definitely want to, you can pursue that career at the community college. I mean, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in the community college. It can be, universities. Having that passion to work with people, that's what is key. My proudest accomplishment at Del Mar College is working the Gulf Coast Growth Ventures project, also known as GCGV. In 2018, we had the opportunity to create a behavioral-based training program, which would serve all of the supervisors, the construction supervisors on site, and everyone had to go through this program. And so for me, having that opportunity to help them change their mindset and have the opportunity to leverage things that they just wouldn't have ordinarily have known to keep them safe and to allow them to go home to their families. That was the whole goal of that project, is to create a program that allows people to change the way that they think, to change the way that they do their jobs, to do their jobs safely. And that's probably, again, my most proudest accomplishment, is making sure those people went home safe. First and foremost, I want to thank God, the Corpus Christi Christian Fellowship, Del Mar College team, Lord Nora Keys, Dr. Mark Escamilla, Daniel Kors, Corporate Services Department, Continuing Education Department, and the executive team. I also have to thank Christy Miller with ExxonMobil, who I had the pleasure of working with. She served as my mentor on the GCGV project, the Gulf Coast Growth Ventures project. I want to thank Dana Hendrick, Molly McClennan, and Winston Baker. Some of those are prior career mentors. Also want to thank my mom, dad, sisters, brothers, and extended family members. I also want to thank the YWCA, Y Women in Careers Committee, for nominating me. And I also have to thank the YWCA for continuing this legacy of recognizing women for their accomplishments. And last but not least, I have to thank my husband, Terry Denson, my son, Terrence Denson Jr., and my late beautiful son, an angel in heaven, Jasoni Smith. They helped shape me, and I live my best life for them.
Next, we honor Dr. Maria Emilia Martinez, Associate Vice President for Student Access at Texas A&M Kingsville. Maria has worked in higher education for 16 years, the last 7 at A&M Kingsville. Maria manages 13 federal, state, and private programs that serve 5,100 participants throughout South Texas. Her focus is student success, starting with academic preparation in high school through the completion of a college degree. She manages more than $22 million in federal funding. Maria has distinguished herself as an advocate for students, particularly first-generation students, helping them not only to be successful as students, but also to grow as well-rounded individuals. Maria has an MBA from the University of New Mexico and bachelor's and doctorate degrees from New Mexico State. The YWCA is proud to recognize Dr. Maria Martinez.
I love what I do because our students are absolutely amazing, and it's such a blessing to be able to be a part of their academic journey. We work with students who are in high school, and we help them study for their the STAR tests. We provide tutoring. We provide assistance for their parents learning about college and learning about financial aid opportunities. One of the most powerful things that for us occurs is when a student identifies what they're passionate about. It's very humbling to know that the services that we provide allowed a student to see the gifts within themselves, identify them, and also identify a trajectory. As an example, we had a student that conducted research with a mentor as part of one of our programs. And we found out, this was about a year ago, that the student got accepted to medical school and a medical research program. And that was huge. When they tell us that they've been accepted into school at the next level and they're so excited, and they tell us that, if it weren't for the program or for having the opportunities that the programs provided, it makes our work so meaningful because we know that we're a tiny part of helping them see their own gifts and their own talents and seeing their future. Many times I think that young women need to understand that they have value right here, right now. Some like math, some like art, some enjoy writing, and some enjoy pets, attending to their pets. Well, there are careers that are tied to all of those things. But I also think it's important to remember our heritage, our culture, and where we come from. And I think that it's important for young women to remember to embrace where they come from and how beautiful our culture can empower us and actually provide strength. I would also encourage young women to always give back. always give back to communities, give back to people, give back to other human beings, because the reward in that is priceless. I would like to thank, of course, my mom, who is my rock, and of course, my father and my immediate family, my wonderful son, and my loving husband, and my pretty amazing stepkids. I'd also like to thank a bunch of friends, but I'll stick to 3 for now. So Andrea, Marla, and Beth, thank you for always being there for me. I'd also like to thank the leadership of TAMUC and also the leadership of NMSU when I was with them. There are many colleagues, other female researchers and female colleagues that were always a huge support to me, both at TAMUC and at NMSU, and they've been an inspiration to me. And so I want to say thank you to them. And then I want to thank, of course, my amazing student access team. If it weren't for them, we would not be able to do the work that we do, the staff as well as our student workers. And then finally, I have to thank God for giving me the opportunity that He has given me and for giving me all the blessings that He has given me in my life.
Our next honoree is a familiar face to anyone who watched the news in 2020. Annette Rodriguez is Health Director for the City of Corpus Christi and Nueces County, managing the Corpus Christi-Nueces County Public Health District. Annette was hired by the city in 1988 as Health Education Director. In 1999, she went to Christa Spahn as an infection control practitioner. She returned to the city in 2001 as Assistant Health Director, then became Director in 2003. Annette is a certified infection control practitioner and a trained epidemiologist, skills that served her well as she has led our community through the COVID-19 pandemic while continuing to oversee the day-to-day operations of the health department. Annette has a bachelor's from the University of Texas, Austin, and a master's in public health from the University of Texas School of Public Health. The YWCA is proud to honor Annette Rodriguez.
I like serving people, to be honest with you. So initially I thought I was going to be a physician. I had a mentor that basically said, since you always want to help people, maybe you want to help the masses, the large groups of people. And so she kind of led me down the path of public health, and that's how I ended up doing public health, and I love it. So I love helping, large groups of people all at one time, so not having just one individual. And public health has just been a great career for me. I've been in public health for 22 years, so I've done epidemiology. I have my master's with epidemiology in my background. I'm also a certified infection control practitioner, and so I have that, and that actually helps because that's the investigation of diseases. And so I worked in a hospital setting for 10 years as an infection control practitioner looking at nosocomial infections, hospital-acquired infections, if you will. And so that really kind of helped to set me up for the position that I started with. Public health was assistant director, but a lot of what we see are these, types of flu trends or listeria monocytogenes, or they're very different. You would think, oh, it's just, immunizations and restaurant inspections, but it isn't. There's pertussis, why do we have outbreaks of pertussis? So trying to make sure that people get vaccinated. So I think I was already kind of prepping for it, maybe not even knowing it. And then with my career behind me, it just led me to the position of Director of Public Health. 2020 came along, and it really did a good one on me, I'm going to say, because, in 2009-10, I went through a pandemic. And I was the director then, I went through the swine flu, H1N1 pandemic. And what we were told back then, that nationally, that you only have a pandemic every 40 years. And so I thought, oh, good, I'll be able to retire and I won't see another pandemic. So this one really, it got me, is what I tell people. So it fooled me. It's here. It's been very rewarding, but it's, it's 24/7 all day long, every day. And, we've been doing it for a year now because we basically started talking to the city and the county in January because we were watching what was going on in December. And we knew, because people fly, and how diseases emerge and travel. And so we knew it was coming. If I was talking to a young student about the career of public health, I would definitely tell them that it's something that they really should be passionate about. My dad used to always encourage me. He was a counselor, and he would say, shoot for the stars. But if you don't get there, you're going to be satisfied wherever you land. But just shoot for the stars. And so that's what I would tell a young person wanting to figure out their career path. I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you. I wanted to thank God for giving me the strength to be able to go through this last year pandemic, and my parents, who have been wonderful parents to me all of my life, and they've mentored me and raised me. My mother actually was my first, second, and third grade teacher, homeroom teacher at that. So may she rest in peace, And my father who taught me about cultural diversity at a very young age. I have to say thank you to him as well. And also my husband and my kids for putting up with me this last year and just supporting me. So thank you to everybody. A big thank you to my public health team. This award is really a credit to their hard work, because they just make me look good. So thank you again, and appreciate everybody for this honor.
Our final honoree this year is Judith Talavera, President and Chief Operating Officer of AEP Texas, a position she has held since 2016. Judith is responsible for AEP's operations in South and West Texas, and she is the first woman to serve in this leadership position. She distinguished herself in 2017 leading AEP's response to Hurricane Harvey, when more than 200,000 customers lost power. Judith did not lead from behind her desk. She was in the field alongside line workers and transmission repair staff, supporting and encouraging them as she and they battled heat, mosquitoes, and mud. Judith joined AEP in 2000 as Manager of State Governmental Affairs and became Director of Regulatory Services in 2008. Before joining AEP, she worked as Legislative Director for State Senator Mario Gallegos Jr. Judith has a bachelor's from the University of Texas. The YWCA is honored to recognize Judith Talavera.
The interesting thing is that I never thought that I would work in the electric utility industry, but it is so rewarding to work in an industry that provides basically our way of life, right? The way we live. I mean, we depend on electricity for so many things, from medicine, from health, education, just thinking about the way people are learning now and working, to be able to use our laptops, to be able to use our phones, to be able to use so many of the new advances in technology that we rely on for our day-to-day life. We depend on electricity for that. I have to say that if I had been asked at the time what I was most proud of, I probably wouldn't have thought about it at the time, because it was also one of the most challenging times in my career, and that is Hurricane Harvey. So just thinking back to 2017, and I had been in my current position for about a year, and it was such a devastating hurricane for this area. But to be able to go through that, and the relationships that you build with, internally with your team, and then certainly with our community, is just incredible. During the Hurricane Harvey restoration effort, I really wanted to get out and let our frontline employees know how much we appreciated everything they were doing, to restore power as safely and as quickly as possible. We know how difficult it is for people to be, without the electricity that they rely on, but they were working some long hours under very difficult conditions. Oh my gosh, I just remember the mosquitoes during that time. It was incredible. And it was really important for me to know how appreciated they were. So the advice I'd give a young girl, or a female, or anyone, right, who's thinking about a career, not just in the electric industry, I think, but in general, find something that interests you. Find something that you like, or just have an interest in, and look for opportunities to gain exposure in that area, to learn from people, maybe people who work in that environment. If you're at a point in your educational career where you can pursue internships, I would encourage you to pursue an internship. I'm a strong believer in internships and just gaining experience in that way. A lot of times you don't necessarily get paid for it, but the experience you can gain is invaluable. To be recognized with an award like this is just so truly humbling. I can't tell you how grateful I am for the recognition, and to know that it comes from the community that you live in, that you work in, that you're a part of. It's just really, really very humbling. So thank you very much for that. And I want to let my parents know how much I appreciate them, and my sister and my brother. My family, I grew up in a very close family. My parents immigrated here after they got married, and I am a first generation. Lastly, but most importantly, I want to let my husband and my 2 boys know how much I appreciate, their support over the years, because there's been, this job requires a lot of long hours and sometimes even some travel away from home. Thank y'all very much for believing in me and for making sacrifices with me along the way. Love y'all.
Congratulations to our 4 distinguished honorees. They are remarkable examples of success in their careers and amazing, wonderful role models for our YW teams. I hope you will consider nominating someone for next year's recognition when we plan to return to our traditional awards banquet. And please consider a donation to support the vital work of the YWCA. Just go to ywcacc.org. Thank you to all who worked on creating this virtual celebration, YWCA staff and volunteers. A special thanks to our event chairs, Sharon Trott and Lynn Ferris. And thank you for joining us and watching today.